All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe. We took the 71 Roadrunner for a track test day. The owner reached out to me because of the timing problems. If you haven't seen the other videos, go check them out. There's, I think, 4 parts to this. So I replaced some faulty parts. I replaced some multiple faulty parts. I replaced the timing set. I redegreed the cam, put everything back together. Starts, runs, drives, idles. When it first came in here, he had to have it on like 44 degrees initial for it to even start, run. That's where it was at. And it was kind of odd. So we went through all that stuff. Now it's down and happy. I've got my MSD distributor in it for these runs. And I called him, I said, I think we're ready to go test it at a racetrack. I can't run up down the highway here, banging gears and whatever without, having a penalty for that. So we got our private racetrack. We go out there and I told him, I think we're ready. Here's our first pass and what it sounds like.
What do you think I would ship this thing? About 5,500, 6 grand?
I would go about 55.
55?
Let's be nice to it for a little while.
Yeah, especially the first runner too.
Yeah, you're gonna be beating it to death later anyway.
Yeah.
But if you want to launch, I would try about, just barely off idle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yes, sir.
Just barely off idle like this here.
That's it. So after that pass, I was really, really, really disappointed. In my mind, we were there. I had just put his new Brawler carburetor on. We didn't know exactly where it was at, but it wasn't having a dead spot or lean spot or anything really. I just, set the 4-corner idle mixture screws by ear. Went out and made a pass. It's got that popping sound. And he said, that's what it's been doing the last 2 years. Well, the other part of the story was a while back, he was actually in the car running it. It used to live a healthy, strong life, but it was rebuilt back in '91. So at some point between then and now, it was ran really, really hard and had some kind of loud pop and the car dies. So he said after that, it's kind of had this popping issue. And it was doing it before he switched to the ATI stuff. So, he, in his mind, and I understand you have an issue, you want to replace something and see if that helps. Well, it ended up replacing many items and some of it got worse, some of it got better. So while we're at the track, we make another pass. Here's what it looks like. Here's our second.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Come back around. We still got that popping sound. We let the thing cool off. So one good thing to try, I said, hey, let's disconnect that tachometer. I've seen bad odometer tachometers before. I don't know, I was probably 18, 19. My dad showed me, race car's not running right. We disconnected that signal wire. It fixed it because it would somehow backfeed a bad signal. Here's that pass. Come back around. It's still popping, okay? If you didn't realize, in a big block Mopar, if it's somehow overcharging at some RPM or whatever, especially higher RPM, it can scramble the signal to an ECU. Voltage is important. So I didn't have a voltmeter with me. We're just out at the little racetrack. I had my little track box. He had his track boxes. We didn't have that. So I disconnect the large wire to the alternator, tape it up good, put it out of the way, we make a pass. That did not cure our issue. Come back around. Cool the car down. He has a different coil in his box. I said, let's try the new coil. Okay. So we put his other coil on. That was a known good coil. It's just a plain black, probably O'Reilly brand or something coil. It is the correct ohms for an HEI, okay? So we put it in place and we actually see a little bit of improvement. Now we come back around. There's still some popping. It doesn't seem as bad. So we go ahead. He has a separate HEI module. I think it's the plain black one from O'Reilly's. We take the Pertronics one off that has the rev limiter built in. After we did try to reset that rev limiter and stuff. We put that other HEI unit on, module on, and in the midst of that, I even pulled the valve cover because I thought I saw some popping from that right-hand side. Or some smoke maybe. And we had already looked at the left-hand side, driver's side, whenever I was redegreening the cam. So he's looked at it before I looked at it. Let's check the passenger side. I pull the valve cover. I pull the rocker shaft off. I inspect every rocker. They all look fine. Look really good shape. I pull the push rods out. They're aftermarket push rods from back in 91 or whenever. I roll them side by side and look for daylight because I don't have a glass smooth table to roll them on. They all look perfectly fine. Put them back in place. Put that back on. Sew it back up. New gasket on that side. He makes a pass. Now I think we're finally getting somewhere. Our popping is like 95% gone. And he says it's only happening kind of above 5,500. So we're still locked out 31 degrees. I say, okay, we'll put a new number one spark plug in. I bought some new plugs on the way there. We put a new plug in so we could just kind of see the fuel mixture on the plug and the timing strap. So it's still locked out at 31. Here's that pass and what the plug looks like. Spark plug after one run, only 31 degrees of timing. You see where it's at? It's locked out. There's a little bit of, see that color down there? I think our jetting's gotta be pretty close. I'm not scared of that at all. 5% solved. I go ahead and put him down a little bit of traction compound, let him burn out in that, so the car can get a little better launch. Since this is a totally unprepped deal out there, it's just an open, empty racetrack that was ran on a few days before that, but gets a pretty decent launch. Y'all check it out. Okay, give it about 8 or 10 spins. Now pull up out of it. Burn on that. Now back up. And now we're down to the end of the day. They got to drive home. I have to drive home. Starting to get dark, bugs are coming out. We've tried so far in the day. During that day, we've checked many different items, just like y'all had recommended in the comments. He did get the car home, and I said, first thing, I wish we would have just ran a straight wire from the battery post to the hot side of that HEI and the positive side of the coil, so we know it's in full 12 volts. I should have checked that 100 years ago. I didn't show any of that on the channel, but he runs a hot wire straight from there to that post, still not cured. So I did recommend, they sell MSD boxes at most O'Reilly's. You buy one, if it's bad, you can return it there, whatever. You're gambling on any aftermarket part nowadays, but in good news, FireCore is warranting that distributor. They were totally surprised it was like that. As soon as I saw it, I went and checked both of mine just, oh man, did I never catch that on mine? Mine were perfectly normal. So I know some people out there had different opinions on that and other stuff in the video. I just wanted to show y'all our track day. We did make a little more progress. The car is back at home with the owner, and we're still searching for answers. I'm sorry, I don't know everything in the world. But one thing that would not hurt, engine built back 91, it's been ran pretty hard throughout its life. If we got some new valve springs put in, you could, that would be a half-day job. Pressurize a cylinder, take the tool, pop them off, swap them out, see what happens. That popping may go away. It may be somehow floating a valve. It's not really the valve floating sound that I'm used to, but the world may never know. I appreciate y'all watching and following along. If you can, like, share, subscribe. I don't say that enough. Thank you to my channel members. I also never say that enough. And my subscribers out there. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. All right, Mopar people.